Skywatch 12 weather with meteorologist Jamey Singleton.
She's a colleague that works at the National Weather Service in Blacksburg. They have a whole team of meteorologists over there that have a ton of experience and equipment. She was nice enough to tell me about what this change meant for their office today, what they're looking for out of the system, and here's what we had to say over the phone earlier this evening.
Definitely. It can be a track change as minor as about 50 miles, and that'll make a huge difference to where the highest snowfall amounts and rain is going to be.
Well, as of right now, and we realize this could change, but as of right now, what are you guys thinking for the greater Franklin County area and the surrounding areas around Roanoke?
Well, right now it looks like the heaviest precipitation is going to be off to the southeast, so we'll be on the cold side of the system, so the further north and west you get, the more favorable it is for snow, but the amounts don't look excessive at this point.
We had the ice and the freezing rain last weekend. What would folks want to be concerned with coming up for Saturday?
There's two things coming up for Saturday. If it turns out to be all snow, that would be travel issues with that. If it turns out that we get a lot of rain with this, we're still pretty moist, so there could be flooding issues if it ends up being
So Anita made a good point. I mean, every system we get, whether it's ice or snow or rain, we've had a ton of rain in November and December, and so flooding could actually be a concern. The computer models are printing out a lot of moisture, and the ground simply can't hold that either. So thanks, Anita, for bringing that to our attention as well. We'll have to be concerned with not only the icy and the snowy conditions, but also the high water that could come maybe Sunday or Monday after this clears out of the area. Well, not much has changed from this graphic from when I was first forecasting maybe some lighter snow. What you're looking at here in the yellow, this is a disturbance in the jet stream coming out of the northern branch, the low down to the south in Texas. As you know, if you grow up in this area and you follow snowstorms, you know you want to get a low from the Gulf to move up the coast. Earlier today, it was looking like, and we're recording this late on Wednesday, it was looking like this low is going to get kicked off to the east and miss us, and we were just going to get this upper level swirl. It still would give us some snow, but not a lot. Since then, two computer model runs have said, hey, this thing's got a counterclockwise rotation with it. So as I put this into motion here, watch what happens here. The upper level disturbance comes in late Friday, and that's why I think the clouds will be on the increase. We'll start out maybe some light, fine snow that should gradually increase in coverage for Friday night. That low will track right into the Gulf Coast states, into the southeast, and then this is where the big change occurred. You heard Anita talking about at the Weather Service on that recording there over the phone, that 150-mile difference. You know, the low, instead of being out in the ocean, now hugging Myrtle Beach, and even inland areas of the Carolinas. If you go a few thousand feet up, that circulation's there. And whenever we get that northeast wind into the Roanoke Valley and Franklin County area, it keeps the cold air in place, and it also allows for a tremendous amount of moisture to start gathering in from the Atlantic Ocean. With low pressure, you get basically counterclockwise winds. Essentially, what's happened here, folks, is we've gone from having a system that looked like it was going to be disjointed to very weak systems that could never really come together and merge, and now they're doing it. And it makes all the difference in the world. It becomes a classic snowstorm, I think, for the Old Dominion and a good part of our area as it continues to wind up through Saturday. So Friday night all the way through the day Saturday, this is some heavy snow here that will combine with this upper level disturbance that we were already going to get. So you see why we're now concerned about the system now linking up and really maybe providing some heavy snowfall amounts for the day on Saturday. This is the actual computer model that I've just downloaded this to show you how much moisture we're talking about. And you can see as we go into the weekend, it starts in the Gulf of Mexico. You can barely see that one disturbance. This is what we were just supposed to get coming out of the middle part of the country, but you can kind of see them coming together right now. Still, a lot of the moisture does miss us to the east, but what happens is the one system to the west kind of pulls it back into the state of Virginia, into North Carolina, and the mountains of Carolina as well, even into central Virginia. Virginia. So we're really kind of tugging that moisture back into the area, and that's what's going to really, I think, bank that moisture up against the mountains, and it will be in the form of some very heavy snow, I'm afraid, for many of us on Saturday. This, just to show you how drastic this change was, this was the graphic that I had Wednesday morning. This is the actual computer model, what it said would happen, and I went with it. It showed the low out in the ocean, heaviest amount of moisture right along the coast, and barely even any snowfall falling out of this. I tried to even be a little more optimistic and say maybe we might get a dusting, some dry snow around, and as you can see right there, there it is in Kentucky and Tennessee. Look at the comparison that happened this afternoon with the new computer model. That's the same time period, just a later run of the computer model. Watch everything shifts further to the west. Here's where we are. Look at that. A big change, okay? So the low now tracking more toward the coast, and it's because it's going to join forces with that system and really start to bring us a lot in the way of that snowfall. Now, this is even a later computer model that's coming out just before I started recording, and now look at this. I mean, this is incredible, an incredible amount of moisture, up to about an inch of moisture in some areas, and instead of a dry snow, it may end up being a wet snow now. So a lot of areas may end up getting a half a foot or more of snowfall should this verify. Let me just put that backwards there and show you the progression of this. This is really fascinating. This is what the computer model looked like earlier. And then, again, we're not changing the time on you, we're changing what the computers were thinking. And as we look at trends in meteorology, and the trend is for this thing to really, really get going, man, we think it's going to be a big one at this point. And so my forecast for you on Friday, it'll kind of be the calm before the storm. It's going to be kind of ominous looking throughout the day. These winter storms do have a history of coming in fairly early, even compared to what the computer models think they'll do. So I expect a fair amount of cloud cover around. They'll be thickening throughout the day. By the evening, probably a snow-sleet mix, maybe some rain around as well, because we're going to be probably in the upper 30s, and that'll be just enough above freezing to where we won't have total snow to start, but we will be watching that very carefully as the colder air moves back in. It'll eventually switch everybody, I think, over to some snow by Friday night. Your wind out of the east at 5 miles an hour. Also, don't forget, go on Facebook and check out my profile, facebook.com/Jamey Singleton. Submit your reports, how much snow you're getting. If you have any questions about the forecast, it's a good way for me, without jumping on the air, just to get on my phone or on the laptop and update the conditions for you to see. So it works both ways, and we'll be doing that throughout this weekend, I'm sure. As we go into Friday night, it's going to be snowing pretty good. We're going to have that snow basically increasing in coverage as those two lows combine forces. It gets going on us, and we'll send those lows down to 26, winds out of the northeast at 5, turning heavy at times late. We could see snowfall rates late Friday night, early Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised looking at the amount of lift that the computer models are forecasting. That basically brings out moisture in the air, that we may see maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow an hour for a few select counties in our area. Now for Saturday, here it is. I mean, it will be continuing. Already snow should be on the ground when you wake up Saturday morning. The roads will be very, very slick, and we're only going to get up to about 31. We will probably stay below freezing because it's going to be snowing much of the day on Saturday with this new track here. And I'm going ahead and I'm putting some totals out here. I don't think anybody else has done this quite yet, but I feel fairly confident in telling you that a good 3 inches is very likely for someone in Southwest Virginia. My gut feeling right now, looking at what I just showed you, is that we could easily maybe see 6 or 7 or even more than 7 inches of snow in some areas, should it be heavy at times, and it looks like it will be. Not just one computer model now saying this. I got like 4 or 5 loaded up on the computer that are kind of congealing on the solution for Saturday. So this could be quite the storm, and definitely one that we may remember for quite some time, should it pan out. 31 again, so we're not going to get any melting done, and those roads will be a mess, even the main ones, winds that will be out of the east at about 5 miles miles an hour. So we have the sunshine on Thursday. Friday, the sunshine gives way to those clouds moving in. By Friday evening, some sleet, snow, and rain mixed. Some of you may actually just see it start as light snow Friday by around 6 or 7 o'clock. 38 on Friday, so that chill starts to get into the air, and then it's just a snow out on Saturday. Just tremendous amounts of snow coming down for Saturday throughout the day, in the morning, all the way up to lunchtime, maybe trying to taper off toward the evening, but even then it may still snow at a pretty good clip. And there's my prediction right now, 3 to 7 inches of not rain.